So I met Courtney in June of 1996. It was 6 months after my father passed away. I had just came out to my mother and we just hit it off and we became friends. But he became the first queer person that I knew that I could be safe with, I could be myself with. And we kind of went on like this, in my mind, this journey together of coming out, going to, used to be a club called Hideaway over here in East Nashville. And our relationship just grew from that to him being my best friend for the last 20-something years. I remember him getting into drag. And so that was a big deal for him. I can picture his camouflage outfit. I can't remember the song he did, but I can remember the camouflage net outfit that he had on, and how proud of it that he was, able to express himself the way he wanted to, and also being in a community that allowed it. It was cool to watch it all happen and unfold, and it happened his way. And you can tell he wanted to be embraced, but you could also tell that he was ready to embrace others. I remember he moved in with me, and we would go to his grandmother's house to get canned foods. We would go get 5 for $20 meats at like Food Lion or somewhere, and he would cook up some stuff in the kitchen and take care of us. So we always had food. We never had to worry about that. That was important to me, especially since I just lost my father and I was living on my own at the time. Made me feel like somebody had been put in my life intentionally. I could just be honest with them, and that helped build a strong foundation for a friendship that would last literally until the day he died, and I'm thankful for that. He moved to Atlanta not too long after that, I think in 1999 or so, and stayed down there for 12 to 18 months. I remember him calling me and checking in, and I was like, listen, I think I'm going to start a business, and I want you to be my first employee. And he did. He came up there right after I started the business, maybe 6 months after, and worked for me from 2000 until 2022. And so we got to grow together, not only personally, but professionally, which has been nice too, because I've seen his involvement in the community, sitting on the board with the LGBT Chamber here in Nashville, but also hosting at Vibe, making sure that the best events are put on, especially for our community. I think it's just important that he was always involved, had his hands in it, and he wanted to make sure that everything looked right. I know that's for sure. He's always cared about the underdog. He's always wanted to be there for that person. I always knew he had a kind heart. He could be shady, because me and him both could be. And we had this great banter throughout the day. I would go to his office and he would say something to me, or I'd say something to him. But his core was always pure and always willing to help others. And you really caught that at his services, when one after one, people, each individual that went up there was saying, I was at my lowest and Courtney was there. I was, struggling financially and Courtney was helping me out. And when you start hearing those stories, even though you know Courtney's that person, because I've loved and known him all these years, it just reiterates his soul, which is why I'm thankful that y'all are honoring that. So it's so funny because people call him, mother and auntie and grandmother and everything else. I was like, what is going on with this? Because I was out of the loop at the time with it. And then he explained Paris family to me, and it goes back to him helping others. And there's, as a queer child, there's parents who disown you or don't support the situation, or don't know how to deal with it. And so we feel alienated and turn to each other. And it was easy for people to do that with Courtney because he welcomed them with opening arms. For the Glamour City pageant, he was constantly judging, always wanted to make sure that pageant was running properly, make sure that there was attendance, but also making sure that the local queens and other queens were having their time to be in the spotlight too, which is important. You know, we have drag race and other things that bigger platforms, but there's also newcomers that need to be seen, and I think it's important. Courtney did an excellent job these last however many years putting that on. When he first started doing drag, I used to carry his bags in. Like, I was so proud to be with a performer and someone who wanted to express themselves to others, but also absorb the energy that comes back from people that are there in the audience and enjoying whatever the performance may be. I mean, it's not easy to get on stage and perform in front of people. It's not easy to do what I'm currently doing in front of this camera. And so I can't imagine being in front of 300 people at Play or at Connections back in the day, or how many people were at Bob. I think those things are, I think it's an accomplishment, and it's like getting a badge of honor when you're that person. Not just as a drag queen, but also being a performer or a host like he was. I would describe Courtney's legacy as impactful. I think he had a lot of impact on most people that he came in contact with. Definitely had an impact on me. He was a mother to some, a best friend to others, an uncle, a brother, many things to many people.